So, where is the strangest place that you have networked, met a client, potential client, gotten a referral from? So, I'd really love to know actually. So, if you want to pop your answer into the comments, that would be amazing. So, I want to share a story with you about a crazy connection. Now, I have made connections with people in some odd places in the past. In fact, my husband has often said, only you, Laura, would meet somebody here. Only you would like connect with somebody in some random place. So, in line at a bathroom at an event. I've even gotten a referral from my orthopedic surgeon. So, kind of strange things. So, I wanted to share this really funny story about my trip back from Whistler last week. So, last week I flew out to Vancouver, spent a couple days there, and then headed up to Whistler to the W North event conference that was happening there. And it was an amazing few days. I met some amazing people. In fact, I met somebody in the line at the bathroom, which I have been known to do in the past. And it was a really amazing few days. Now, I timed everything perfectly. So I thought I booked a bus from Whistler to the Vancouver airport that was going to get me in about an hour and a half before my flight was meant to depart. I was like, perfect, excellent timing, Laura. Didn't quite account for the fact that you have to drive through Vancouver to get to the airport from Whistler. I didn't account for, traffic. But in my mind, I was like, all right, my flight's going to get in, or my bus is going to get me in at 5:30. My flight is at 6:55. Best laid plans, right? So I'm on the bus and we kind of hit halfway and the bus driver made a comment about traffic. And I thought, oh, I didn't think about traffic. Went onto my Google Maps and discovered that, in fact, it was saying I was going to get in around 6 o'clock. So now we're an hour out from my flight on Friday night. It's like, okay. So then I'm seeing it's kind of going longer and longer. So I make my way up to the front of the bus and I ask the bus driver about this. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's like Friday night traffic. Of course, when I booked the ticket, I just saw, okay, 5:30, you're going to arrive in Vancouver at Vancouver Airport. I'm like, perfect. So needless to say, I get a little stressed out because I don't like being late or risking missing a flight. So we got into the airport at 6:20. By this point, everybody on the bus knows that my flight leaves at 6:55. So they all waited. They're like, you get off first. The bus driver went and grabbed my bag. I said goodbye to the woman I was sitting with who was at the conference with me, and I bolted. So it was quite the epic adventure. I get to security and it's like 100 people deep, probably at least. Those like where it's kind of snaking through. And I'm looking at this crowd going, okay, it's now 6:30. Remember, my flight's at 6:55. Like, okay, so I asked the security, hey, my flight's at 6:55. Can I kind of get ahead? And they were like, sorry, can't help you. And I knew that if I stayed there, that I would not make my flight. So the kindness of strangers, I tell you, I asked the people in the next kind of lane, I said, do you mind if I skip ahead? And I kind of went under the little barrier and they let me go ahead. And then this gentleman shouts out, oh, 6:55 to Toronto. I'm like, yes, that's me. So I managed to kind of thank you to all of the amazing strangers who were in the line at the security in the Vancouver airport last Friday, because I made my flight because of you. So I continue going under. People keep letting. I meet up with this gentleman, Frank. I'll tell you more about him later. And then we met up with another woman who's like trying to also kind of jump the queue to get into this line to go to Toronto. So the three of us were like, okay, well, at least there's three of us that are on the same flight. We're all late. We're all here. So we continue to kind of see if we could move ahead in the line. So thankfully, people were letting us do that. And, then I thought, oh my gosh, if one of our bags gets pulled off to the side, where they like see something they don't like and they want to open up your bag. It's like, oh, there was at least 10 sitting on that side of the baggage area. I was like, okay, it's not going to happen to me. It did on the way out to Vancouver. So it was like, please don't let this happen again. Thankfully, it did not get pulled over to the side. I was the last one. So Frank and the other woman had run to the because it also said it was a 10-minute walk to our gate. So at this point, it's 6:45 when I get my bags. They've gone ahead. I run like I've never ran before. And I get to the gate, and these two amazing strangers I've just met in line are waiting for me there. They told them they were waiting for me to get on the plane until they boarded, which I was just like, I was so moved by that. Just the fact that they hadn't gotten on the plane. They were standing there like, no, Laura's coming. Like, she's coming. I get on the plane. Literally, my bum is in my seat at 6:50, right? Plane is meant to depart at 6:55. So I was just like sweating. And like, of course, there's no room for my bag in the overhead, baggage. So we had to check our bags. I'm like, great. We get in at 2:30 in the morning, and now I have to wait at the baggage carousel. Anyway, so I say bye to my friends who I've just met, and we go and find our seats, and you know, the flight arrives. And of course, we meet back up at the baggage carousel. So, and it's 2:30 in the morning. You'd think it'd be quick. It was not quick. So I would say we were at the baggage for probably at least 30 minutes. So of course we strike up a conversation. Frank tells me about what he does. He's in advertising. I tell him what I do. And here we are, 3 in the morning in the baggage carousel in the Toronto airport. And he's like, oh, my clients could use your help. Oh, okay. So here we are, like waiting for our bags. We're so tired, but we had this amazing shared experience. So we start chit chatting and talking about business. And then I find out that he lives really close to me in Toronto. So we ended up just sharing a cab home. So in the cab, we're like connecting on LinkedIn, we're talking about business. And it was just kind of hilarious that here we were, these complete strangers. And I think what a gift. If I hadn't have been running late for my flight, I never would have even met this man, let alone been talking about business, and shared a cab home. And now we actually have a lunch date tomorrow, which I just think that goes to show that it's not about, always, your social media posts or the different things that we do from a marketing perspective, your emails and all of these things. Sometimes we meet people in the strangest of places. And when you love what you do, when you're really clear on why you do what you do and that impact that you have and all the work that I do with my clients, it's so easy to talk about this. And I remember, Frank said, oh, I'm really sorry. We're talking about business here. I was like, no, like, I love it. I love what I do. So to me, it's just so easy and effortless. So I wanted to share that story because I think it just goes to show that as entrepreneurs, it's not that we're never off, but I feel like you just have to be open. You have to be open to the experiences. You have to be open to those people that you might meet and, creating deeper connections, right? It's not about surface stuff. It's not even about networking. I know a lot of people don't love that word. It's not my favorite. It's more about connecting with people. And we connected on a deeper level, and we had this shared human experience that kind of bonded us together. And now I'm super excited to talk about how can we collaborate? What can we do? So it's so interesting the way that we meet people and the impact we can have based on a conversation and, even shared connections. So I'd love to know, if you're watching, let me know, where is somewhere that you've met somebody that was really unexpected? Have you met somebody in a strange place or gotten a referral from somebody that you thought, that's a weird referral from somebody from this, you know, strange context, whatever that might be? And I think it's really, I'd love to start this conversation around how can we build our businesses in an unconventional way? How can we find ways to meet people that aren't the typical ways? What can we do? And this is really about creativity. It's really about just putting ourselves out there into the world and connecting with people on a deep human level. So I think my lessons from this experience are, well, one, don't be late. Don't Make sure you book a little bit more time to get to the airport, especially if you're in Vancouver and it's a Friday during rush hour. That's a good lesson to learn, but also to look at the gifts that even in the challenges. So did I want to check my bag? No, I was like, oh, it's going to delay me getting home and getting to bed even longer. But had I not had to check my bag, I never would have had that conversation with Frank. And, we could have just again stayed strangers, but we found each other again down there and continue to have this conversation. So it's really about looking for, connections in those unexpected places and just being open to the experience. So that's what I wanted to share. Would love if if you're watching the replay, share some strange places that you've connected with people. I would love to hear them and continue this conversation and maybe inspire some other people to connect in a different way. I also want to let you know that I have a session of Brand Camp coming up starting May 30th. I'm super excited. I'm only running my group version of Brand Camp for thought leaders twice this year. So I have one at the end of May, one at the end of October or mid-October. And so I'm looking for some amazing entrepreneurs who are ready to take all of this kind of messy brain stuff that they don't know how to talk about what they do and turn that into a really amazing brand foundation and powerful language and messaging. So if that sounds like something you need, I will share the link below or in the comments so you can find that and let me know if you have any questions. And until then, have an amazing day, everybody.